back to another episode of the Higher Level Podcast. So on tonight's show, we're going to be joined by Paddy Holohan. Paddy will be on in a few moments. In the meantime, James is not here tonight, so we have Higher Level's own Dylan Tuke stepping in as the co-host. And obviously, Dylan, finally back out there. You finally made your debut for the promotion. Successful one at that. First round finish. We'd obviously speaking before we started recording, but it's been a long time since you fought. Just how nice was it to get back in there?
It was great, man. I can officially call myself a ninja. I finally, I think that's all I wanted is kind of to get a win. Obviously, I wanted to win for myself, but I wanted to get a win for James. If it meant so much to have him there and be able to turn around, give him a big fucking hug and be like, fucking thanks for the vote of confidence. Because like I always say, I'm not the easiest person to put up with. I'm annoying at the best of times, like, you know what I mean? So it was just, it was fucking, it's surreal. It was almost like being a junkie going out and going back onto the good stuff, like, you know what I mean? And just being like, I'm hooked again, like, so I'm delighted.
It's perfect. And we actually have Paddy just trying to join the now, so we'll just let Paddy pops up. Oh, there he is.
Problems there I was.
There he is.
No, it's brilliant. We're already going, Paddy, so we're recording. We've gave you the introduction you deserved. So just obviously talked to Dylan there about him getting back in the cage, first round finish. And so Dylan, then obviously just happy the gym's been busy recently, and was it just nice to get back in there and get to work? So I'm sure you've had a lot of hard rounds over the last few months.
I've been, not unfortunately, obviously a great thing. I've been on the receiving ends of a good few hidings off all the boys, because I'm one of those unfortunate motherfuckers that I'm big, so I fall into going with welterweights and lightweights. So I don't really have much of a choice. So I've been involved in pretty much every one of the guys' camps, and now I'm going to be involved heavily now in the next couple of weeks for Stevie Ray's fight, which I'm kind of shitting myself. So I'm looking forward to them beatings. But it was great to kind of just it was great to kind of see how James puts his focus on his fighters, because obviously the last 4 weeks were very much in tune to me. So every class during the week was tailored around what was going to happen in my fight or what I was wanting to see. And it was it was just great to experience a high level coach, kind of just how he took me under his wing and just was like, you know, because obviously I was shitting myself and very nervous because I haven't been in there in a while. So it was almost like unfamiliar to me again. So it was it was nice. It was great. And like I said before Paddy came on, I'm just happy to finally call myself a ninja. I'm a dinky ninja, you know what I mean? And I can kind of add a win to the higher level board for the year, and plenty more to do. And now, just looking forward to it. But I don't want to talk about myself. I want to talk about the man himself, Mr. Paddy Holohan, the hooligan. And he has some big...
We're listening to that, man. Keep going.
No, I'm good. I'll come on another day. I'd rather listen to you, big man. Because you have a big matchup coming up at the moment, if I'm not mistaken.
We're doing that. Saturday. Can't fucking wait.
I cannot wait to see the match. And it's funny because obviously I've had a big layoff, but I don't think you've competed in grappling in the last maybe 2 years, is it?
It was 2 years, yeah. I think the last guy was that Kevin Corcoran or something. I think I competed against. But I just, even the times I did compete, I wasn't getting the buzz. I actually did compete to see that I get the buzz, and I just felt like me here right now in there. I don't think that's healthy, you know. But with this one, I think I got that little bit of a you know. So
yeah.
So that definitely, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely have that kind of like when I wake up in the morning, there's no problem getting out of the beds and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm motivated again.
Yeah. Do you have that? Do you have that extra step in the morning, Paddy? Just with this one coming up, obviously on Polaris 19 this Saturday. Do you get that spring in your step in the morning, getting ready to go to training, knowing this is coming on Saturday, and it's on Polaris as well, one of the best grappling shows around? Yeah,
I'm so excited actually to get out there and feel that again, you know, because some people when the lights go on it might affect them a little bit differently. But I always had a positive in when the lights went on, you know. So I'm jiu-jitsu and grappling is my first love, and it always has been. I am always in the gym training. I have a bunch of little animals coming up, I'm telling you, and they terrorise me. So it actually reminds me kind of like of Dylan, when Dylan used to be coming up behind you and like the little fire burning under you, you know. And it's great to see that, because I'm kind of at a stage of my process of martial arts. Still young in it, but I'm seeing the generation happening again in a way, and I'm kind of it's nice to be able to be ahead of it, because I can kind of see the mistakes and I can see the positives and nearly who's going to do well and who's probably going to hit a little bit of a wall and stuff. So yeah, but it's exciting. This one's about me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and just something you said there about the new generation. UFC London has just been there, so we'll maybe talk about that in a wee bit. But the talent coming through in the UK and Ireland at the moment, it's frightening. The sport is just moving at such a fast pace, and you can see all these younger guys who are benefiting from guys like yourself, Paddy, guys like James Doolan and other great coaches around the world who've competed, and now it seems like just the levels are increasing every year, every generation.
I think the material is getting better. I think that's why that has a massive part to do with that. So the material always gets more kind of like purified as it goes along. So whether it's against the fence or whether it's having YouTube and having world-class coaches to even just go home and to be able to look at, you know. But someone you mentioned there, James. James definitely is not I won't say a new school coach. He's an old school coach in the new school, you know. James has always been an absolutely incredible coach, and somebody as a coach that I would look up to myself now. Coaching, Dylan, I'll tell you, has always been a massive passion for mine. I'm not kind of one of them fighters that like I had to retire, so I had to coach. I qualified as in kids with disabilities and coaching all sorts of football and all. At the start of this, my journey.
Sure. You were coaching. During the peak of a UFC career, you used to take the 2 foundation classes every week in the SBG HQ. Every week, always coached.
Yeah, fight on a Saturday, come back and take the class. But that's the way that I think I can see that happening there in the gym now as well. It's great to see you there as well, Dylan. And there's such a great team and a great coach, you know. And then with that little bit more maturity, I think that we can see in you as well, you know.
And as well, having someone there that'll smack me in the back of the ear if I do something wrong. James is very scary.
Definitely needed. I'm telling you, 100%. But and you've definitely got the guy there for it, James doing it. But as I said, massive praise to what you're doing over there as well. I can see it happening. But it is a team sport. It's an individual as well. But there has to be good camaraderie there, you know. And I think when that happens in a team, he was saying there about teaching beginners classes coming off, and that's what you do when you're part of the team, you know. You do whatever it takes, and that's it. So that's kind of the mentality I always had. When I'm in.
Yeah, see, one of the things to being a coach as well, you're almost trying to be a good sponge as well and try and soak up as much knowledge as you can from other coaches you see out there. Everything is that an important part of the growth process as a coach?
Yeah, massive. And I think it really helps as well to have felt some of the situations that you're probably putting somebody into as well, which is I think now I don't think that's 100% always necessary. Some people, they say that people that can do and people who can't coach, as they say. But to me, I would say I'm a better coach than I am a fighter. Well, that's what I want to be in a way.
Yeah.
The UFC thing happened on the road to qualifying as a coach as well. So I just didn't want to be an ordinary gym instructor or anything like that. Martial arts and jiu-jitsu was definitely what I fell in love with, and I wanted to coach that at a high level in sport specifically. So I take it from everything, you know. I watch what people are doing, and what I love about James the most as well is that when you look at some of the classes, they're basics, and I'm trying to say to people, this is what it's about. There's one of the children crying. I don't know if he's going to hear that, but
yeah, that's lovely young kids. The joys of parenthood.
I've loads of them.
How many kids, Paddy?
The 4th in August.
The 4th?
Oh, 4th in August.
I was in a short space of time as well.
Yeah, 3 in 3 years.
The man is good.
3 in 3 years.
3 in 3, man. I'm the most versatile man in Ireland, I think. I swear to God.
You must be spinning some amount of plates. I've got 2, and they're 2 years apart. And honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm a referee at home.
Yeah.
Just Right, so sometimes going to the gym's actually, is it a bit of a reprieve for you? You can chill out at the gym?
No, he has to bring the kids with him. The kids do go to the gym with him.
It's a big family environment. I want my kids to be them kids that grew up in the gym. I know that sounds kind of mad, but like, I'll never push them into anything, but I just want them to be around it, and I want them to feel the community aspect of being in a gym as well. And I think that's very important, you know. So I'm blessed with my partner Chelsea. I'm absolutely blessed with. She's a black belt in this shit, you know what I mean? So,
she is very, very, very good.
Yeah. If not, you know, the kids have to sit around and talk about how the ship is going down, you know what I mean? Because
now let's get this straight as well. Like Paddy's Gym at Holohan MMA is an absolute facility and a half. When you're like downstairs in it, it's like almost like it could be a crash if you wanted it to be. Like, you know what I mean? It's it's cushy, it's cozy. It's not like one of those kids are like damp in a corner. Like they're probably more happy there than they are at home.
Purpose built then, yes.
Yeah, definitely. It was all, and in my head from the start, that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like a massive youth club and athletes development centre, basically. You know, where we've got people that come that have disabilities that don't train maybe in many martial arts and just use the strength and conditioning area, but have rapport and a good relationship with the fighters and the people who do it, and they all go for coffees, and it's just there's a pool table, there's VR machines, and we have float tanks there, and like, no, listen, and I'm not saying that as in a way of like we just threw it all in. It was a lot of effort, a lot of hard work, and as you know, it just doesn't grow on trees, you know. But I invested every single penny that I kind of made back into what I wanted to do, which was grow a ship basically, and be the captain of it. You know what I mean? And some of the lads that we have now, it's ridiculous, Dylan. You want to see some of the guys that we got now? It's like they're so good.
One person that springs to mind straight away. Sorry, James, is Paddy would have the best European female prospect at the moment, and probably since Ashman Daly, the best female prospect that Ireland has produced in a decade, easy. Shauna Bannon, she is incredible. Could not speak more highly about her. But that she has been produced and a product of Holohan MMA and Mr. Paddy Holohan.
Yeah, she's incredible. She has a massive point kickboxing background. She's been kickboxing since she's 3. But just as an athlete, she's incredible. When she first came in, obviously she was getting taken down, and it's kind of in that moment you kind of know whether people are going to stay or whether they're going to go, you know. So she was able to put that white belt back on basically in a situation, and she's been training for 4 years. She makes her pro debut now very soon, and I'm very excited for what she brings, because she's not just a great athlete, she's a really good person as well.
Yeah, what's that like, Paddy? Just that feeling as a coach when you get someone coming in, maybe they've came from a different sport, maybe they've never competed in any combat sports, and you get to see the growth and development in them, and get to see them progress through amateur and just make the developments. How proud a moment is that when you see one of your fighters or one of your athletes make that step, and you get to go on the journey with them?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I close this door.
No bother.
I had to run away from my dogs there. Things are just getting way too hectic. They're just mental.
They look like a handful.
They just the minute I sat down, they just started fighting each other. I was like, I'm not even here. You're annoying me.
There's the big thing we love is people development, not even just athlete development. So I love seeing someone that's kind of coming in and maybe they're a little bit lost in their life, and that they're getting off the couch and they work hard and they just don't feel that life's giving them good feelings, you know. And then you see them, maybe they do jiu-jitsu, they do 1 class, 2 classes, and they start getting good at it. And I love seeing that person. I'm always into there kind of like, how are you feeling now? What are you doing? What are you working today? But I love seeing people changing their life through the sport as well. I love to see someone grabbing it and realising what it can actually do, you know. It can change your life, but it's one of these things that's like, it's like that candle aspect, you know, like it can burn your house down or it can light it up. And that's the same thing with MMA and with fame and all of that stuff, you know. It's like it can just go to your head, or it can change your whole community by how you react to what you're doing, you know, like what Paddy Pimblett's doing now as well. And there's kids running around there now that want to be Paddy Pimblett, and it's like the people who want to be Dylan Tuke running around with little Glasgows and all, and that's how it goes.
Jesus.
You know? That's how it goes.
Jesus. There's gonna be an awful lot of toothless people running around. Turkey is gonna have a bomb of money coming their way.
It's one of the things about the gyms as well, because maybe ended it's fans of the sport. We see the fighters, we see the people out there, but when you get into any gyms that have got that family atmosphere, a lot of the people in the gyms aren't fighters and don't want to be fighters, but they love going in there and training, and they're a massive part of the gyms as well. So you see that, but in like higher level, obviously been in there, a lot of the people that are part of the gym don't necessarily want to be fighters, but it builds that family and community in the gym, and it obviously benefits people's lives. And I'm sure you see that as a coach as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's I think that's actually not just like important, that's critical. If you try to start a gym up and it's just you're gonna have the best fighters in the world, and you're gonna end up depressed. That's what's gonna happen because
I'm broke.
Yeah, I'm broke. I'm broke. That's the most important one, Dylan. You're bang on there, yeah.
Honest, because they're the members, the casual members that come Monday to Friday are the ones who turn the heating on and turn the electricity on. They're basically the heartbeat of the gym, like, and it's sometimes they are undervalued by people, like, you know what I mean. So it's important that they feel happy and feel like they're a part of something, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Something I notice in the gyms that seem to be successful, they do have that family atmosphere. Is that something you've always felt with the successful gyms, Paddy? You can see that. It's not just people going and training together. They are like family. The amount of time you spend there as well.
Yeah, look, I'm trying to say it to people now. Like, so say when I started kind of afresh, when I broke onto my own kind of like, not even just Holohan martial arts, but when I just kind of like, I wanted to build my own team, and that was something I wanted to do for a while. And not necessarily like I'm going to build my team. I wanted to have a group of people that I could dedicate a lot of time to over a long time and help them, basically. You know, where when I was coaching and I wasn't kind of my own team, sometimes I was like, it was like helping this person and then that person and then this person. And so I wanted to kind of dedicate all of myself to that. So, just being able to do that as a coach now full time is massive. You know what I mean? And as I said, we're about 5 years into it now, but some people don't want to pay the price, and you have to pay the piper. That's how it goes when it comes to this game. And some people, I don't know why, but they try to cut the corners and they go left and they don't listen to you. And like, it's like, I wouldn't lie to you. You're just going to have to do a lot of time. It's like saying, I want to go to the Olympics. It's like, and then in 2 years they're like, yeah, hold on, why am I on the Olympic team? It's like, this is the Olympics, mate. You know what I mean?
Well, if you think about it, effectively what you're doing is like 6 Olympic sports.
Aye.
So, that's just no easy, man. That's not for everybody.
That's the problem nowadays. Everyone thinks it is for anybody and everybody, but it's not.
Is there something to because it does seem aside it, like the social media side, people just want to maybe have on their Instagram that they're a fighter and stuff like that, and there's just so much more to it than the work involved.
Too many pussies being able to fake it. Like that fucking Dean Barry idiot that's gone off to the UFC on a whatever mad record fighting 0-24 guys, and then but you have people commenting on his team calling him an animal or a killer. Like, that's the worst thing, because these little frauds and charlatans can look like they're real when they're not. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
that's just my 2 cents.
No, but I guess the one good thing with MMA is, especially when you get to that upper levels, there's no, because we speak about it in boxing all the time, you can keep going through and keep that undefeated record, but in MMA you don't get many favours. You will get exposed pretty quickly, especially if you somehow get to the UFC level. It's going to end pretty quickly.
Pretty sure Paddy. Last thing, I'm pretty sure Paddy got to 9-0 when he fought. Pretty much it was everybody he fought was undefeated until he got up to the UFC level, wasn't it?
Most of them just fought the next guy in line. That was basically how we was trying to do it on the way, you know. But regarding what you're saying regarding like the I think a lot of people are still struggling with their own identity in this. Like, I can't really comment on it too much because I didn't have social media as much as it is now part of the sport, and it's obviously a big money making part of the sport as well. But I'd say it must be hard to separate the professional side, where you actually have to actually go and beat this person, and a lot of the emotional stuff that comes from the online stuff. So that's a skill in itself. And if people can do that and they can make money out of it, I say fair play to them. But then some people can't separate that. It's the emotional and the skills get affected basically by the actions of whether you're doing it in the gym or whether you're doing it online, you know. So if you can say it and roll it off your back and go back to the gym and do it and you really mean it and that's what you want to say it. But if you're only saying it because the other guy is saying it, you're probably not being true to yourself, you know. I mean, not being authentic.
Yeah, it's not, and plus it's no every fighter's got that personality where they want to go on social media and call out people or do it. I mean, Arnold Allen's the sort of perfect example. I don't know, did you catch his fight with Dan Hooker at the weekend? And I mean, that guy's that's a 9-fight winning streak in a fucking difficult division in the UFC.
He's an animal. He's always been an animal. Like, I remember being in Jordan, and I think he was fighting at the time. I'm pretty sure he was fighting Brian Morley was cornering out in Jordan at the time on Cage Warriors, and he was in the dressing room. And I remember seeing him then and going, "Oh my god!" Like, I remember saying that that's the next generation. Then, and you're probably talking about 8 years ago.
Easy 8 years ago.
Yeah, and it's that thing where a 9-fight winning streak, that's something that is extremely difficult to do. Not just in the UFC, but even if you're looking at Cage Warriors and other promotions around the world, putting a streak like that together in MMA is extremely difficult. And just the way he won that fight with Dan Hooker.
He's not just going out and narrowly winning. He's giving beatdowns. Like,
I mean, that was a welcome down a division for Dan Hooker. I mean, that must have been a tough one to take, but it was a great fight to watch. Don't get me wrong.
I seen a great comment about that, and it was like, if you think of like the kind of like the finisher Dustin Poirier is, and he couldn't put him away, and then thing went Aaron Allen goes and puts him away in a round.
Yeah, I looked level.
That to say something, you know. Like he can't be far off. I know that this is like, he can't be far off the title shot.
I think definitely next title shot. I think, especially considering like Max and Alex have already fought like twice or 3 times, so it's kind of
I mean that London card. I mean that's one of the best cards I've seen in a while. Just the finishes it produced, and it was great to see because you got that look, and it is only just a small look at the talent levels across this part of the world, because there's so much other talent out there that maybe the casual MMA fan who's just watching UFC hasn't seen. But what an advert that was for British and Irish and European MMA in general.
The magic was there. You could kind of I was watching from my home, and sometimes you watch events and it's kind of like, I don't know, but everyone kind of compares events to like the Dublin event. It was nearly like the Dublin. I was like, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. That looked like it had that same magic in the air there. That like
people, you're just English, so you know, can't be that.
People breaking through after, like, you know, like that's like, imagine how hard it must have been for Molly McCann to go two fight loss in the UFC and still trust, because usually 90% of that situation, what happened is that the person to turn around and blame their team and their coach and leave, probably, you know what I mean? Where to turn around and then trust your coach and trust your team again and get back to the stone, work hard, and then get that reward there. You know, like Molly was over as well for a little time. She comes over and spars with Sean and all, and like a massive respect for Molly, I do. You know what I mean? And so to do that shows people. You know, you've got to trust the process, as I said, and it's that takes a hard thing to do.
Yeah, Molly McCann is so good to watch. She's great to watch fighting. She's great to watch talking, and just the running out the cage, grabbing the belt, and then I love seeing the interactions Paddy has when she wins, and then how she is when Paddy wins. I love seeing that. You just see the bond between teammates there. It's great to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's magic. It is real as well. You can see it. Yeah, and
a couple of other guys will. And I guess the other side of it as well, the Jai Herbert fight in Taporia. Jai looked like he was in control. He was using his range well. He looked like he was winning that fight, and then just, I think it was an overhand right, was it, Taporia through, and it was lights out.
Left hook to the body, right hook to the head.
Some shot to the body. I think it was the body that actually done it.
Body hold.
Ooh, the delay on it as well, you know what I mean? I feel bad for Jay, to be honest, because as that goes down in history, he was driving that boat well, you know what I mean? And then he just didn't get the result. And I think that's in the shadow of it all, he definitely does deserve respect for what he's done. I've called a few of his fights on Bama and stuff like that. And he's a tremendous fighter, you know what I mean? But I would have liked to see him get a win.
Yeah, he's had a couple of tough losses. The Trinaldo
he got thrown to the dogs. He got thrown to the dogs. He got no easy fights. Didn't get looked after at all. Just got thrown to the dogs. You feel bad for him because he is fucking really, really good. Like,
yeah, he is very good.
But in his fights, the fights have been exciting fights. So I think we're definitely going to see him back in there. And just one other one I want to mention is before we come back to you, Paddy, is Tom Aspinall. Thoughts on Tom, where he ranks, and how big a future Tom Aspinall's got ahead of him, Paddy?
He's another lad, as I said, he's paid his dues. You know what I mean? It was great to see his corner there with him and stuff like that. People have been there from the start from. He is incredible. Like he can box, and what he's looking to get to was grappling in a way, which is a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? Because someone else is going to be trying to get away from his boxing by probably trying to grapple. So it kind of falls into him, and he moves so well for a big lad as well, which I think is a massive advantage in that weight division. Anyone that's been able to kind of like shift the line real quick, or when they're going backwards, turn the angle fast rather than being in the same line and throwing bombs, you know what I mean, in a way. So I think he's gonna, like, even you can see the other guys in the division stepping up and going, "Hey, hold on, these guys." You know, people know what they see. So he's legit. He's a real one as well. It's great to see it as well as father there with him.
Yeah. I think it was a good call as well. I think him and Taito Ivasa. I remember Tom's. Sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. I remember Tom saying he wasn't wanting to move through the division too fast. But when you're that good and you're winning so emphatically, and admittedly heavyweight's not the deepest division in the UFC, it's kind of impossible for him not to move to the top so quickly.
I think he's trying to get paid. Like, that's the smart thing, I think, these days, that the lads have realised a little bit, you know what I mean? Sometimes people would have been screaming to fight for nothing and I'll fight the champ tomorrow, but you'll fight him for your first fight, gets paid for it, and that's it. So that's going to be another thing. Like, that's what I try to put to my own fighters now as well, and the idea of like the management side of it as well as the skill side. And now I'm not a manager, but I understand kind of how to negotiate and what the word is now, and so passing that on to people is massive. So I don't think he should move too fast. Why doesn't he just fight them all to the top, you know, and get paid on every single one of them? And that's what I would do if I was him.
Would you make it, obviously, Paddy Pimblett? I mean, he'll probably get some online criticism for people that have never been in the gym or anything like that, but I think Paddy Pimblett's approach is quite smart in saying, why fight a top 10 guy on a 12 and 12 contract? I'll fight guys run about where I'm getting paid for 12 and 12 until I get paid more. That is, it's not something you hear from fighters a lot, and it seems like a really smart way to approach things, and fight the tougher guys when you're getting paid the right amount for it.
But they're hiring you as a fighter. So I always look at it. When it comes to professional, they're hiring your services to go into a cage and beat someone up, basically. So you need to get paid as much as you can, as many times as you can, because when the months pass, all times pass, you know what I mean? You have to feed your kids, you have to house yourself, all of these type of stuff. And if you're going to put all of this on the line and not come out with at least maybe your house paid off and a few quid in the bank and a car and then maybe some sort of investments to keep you going, it's kind of like, I wouldn't start Everest. Now, you don't get into it for the money, but if you're going to turn professional and stuff like that, put a lot of time into it, I think you should be planning to that. That would be the bare minimum, you know. So I think Paddy is doing Paddy done the right thing. Paddy, I remember going to Paddy's Gym when he was about 17 years of age, and he was incredible, flying triangle people and all mad stuff. I was over there with Ash when she was sparring with Rosie Sexton for a week, and it was incredible. Spent the week in the gym. The guys were all you know, those guys are Scousers, you know what I mean? Like my partner's a Scouser, so maybe maybe we just put on the Scousers or something like that. Yeah, but it was, to be honest, I have to say it was it was a good week over there, and to see what he's did, to see that he told the UFC no, and then went back. That shows a level of maturity that I wish a lot more fighters would take now as well, because it's getting there is one thing, but then you have to fight these people, you know. If you're going to fight one guy that you think you can beat, you're a bit of a pussy, you know what I mean? You got to think like, I'm here now and I'm going to try and make as big as a shot of it as I can. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, what do you think of that approach, Dylan, that Paddy's taking? Is that one you think that's sensible? Or
I didn't want to jump in just because the man talks so much sense, so it's always good to listen when sense is being spoken.
Well,
the main thing that Paddy said there, and it's the only one, two things. Your worth. Fighters nowadays need to know their worth, and they also need to know the complications of what they're doing, because you can go in there and die, and that's, I know people don't like saying it and shit.
Yeah,
I'm just not about being all this politically correct bullshit. That's the truth of it. You're going in there and the possibility is you could die. That's why we sign waivers. That's why we do this shit. And that's why, like, it's the risks are high. So you should be getting paid what you're worth. And nobody should be telling you what you're worth. You should know what you're worth. And then the worst thing about it is kind of people going, oh, I'll fight for free. If you say you'll fight for free, you're stupid. Because you're a prize fighter. You shouldn't be happy to fight for free. You should be looking to go, well, I'm this good and I want this much for being this good. Put a value on yourself. And I think that's just the main thing, is knowing your worth and knowing your value. And if you don't know your worth and know your value, well, then you should have a coach that knows your worth and knows your value. But at the same time, you don't want someone that's just there because they want 20%. You want them to want you to be safe while being looked after with money. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with everything Paddy said. I think it's spot on. And thankfully, I think this generation that's coming around, and not even, I think I'm almost, I always think I'm older than I am. I think I'm in Paddy's generation. I'd be like, with the younger generation coming up, they know they're not happy and looking at promoters and going, almost like promoters are good at making fighters think they're doing them a favour, when in the reality is the fighters doing the promoter a favour. I'm promoting your show by fighting on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think fighters are getting better at that. It's like even hearing little wee Sean Clancy talk about fighting, and he's only 19. I think he's only 19 now. And he had a great win on the weekend, but you can hear the way he's talking that when he gets there, he's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Whereas maybe when I was starting off, I was looking at Paddy all the time for advice. I was every day I'd be hocking Paddy's phone over for advice because I was just clueless coming up. You know what I mean? So yeah, spot on the money, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and I guess
I'm clueless too, Dylan. We haven't got a fucking clue either, mate. No.
Man's doing well for someone who has no clue.
Winging him.
That's Chelsea. That's the Chelsea woman. That's the Chelsea woman. Keeping it all together.
Good team.
So, Paddy, just before we'll finish up on Polaris, but so the gym itself, how has things been over the last couple of years with the gym, and how are things going? And just you spoke it. Dylan mentioned one of the girls fighting out at the gym, and just what's the talent levels like? Tell us about some of the killers you've got coming up in there.
Some little like animals. Really, that's all I can say. Look, there's even not just in the MMA. There's two of the lads in the jiu-jitsu, Dan O'Clooney and Sam Delaney. Animals. The two lads went over to the British Open and they started on each end of the bracket, and they both have a different style, right? They started with me as teens. So they came in teens, never done jiu-jitsu before, and they literally just closed out the whole bracket, full bracket in the British Open, you know. So blue belt level went over and took a gold and a silver each, and they just want to compete, and they're so intelligent when it comes to training, and they drill and they ask questions, and like even training with them myself now is like, I've been using these for this camp as well, because these guys are little animals. Like, and then when you come into the MMA, then you have there's another lad that's training with me. George, his name is, a Moldovan guy, about 61 kilo, and it's sensational, you know. And then another guy who came through the teens program, Keane Tate. It's kind of been unlucky a few times, to be honest. But this kid, so he's lost more than he has won. But I mean, this man is probably, I have so much respect for him, you know, because he just turns up when we going again. So, and that's the way you should be taken as an amateur as well. The idea is, if you can get 100 fights and get out of there unscathed and get 100 fights of experience, forget how you did. Just take them bags of experience with you, because the pro game, I think when you change, people think it's, oh, well, I've got elbows and knees now. Everything changes. You're entering into a contract now. You've got like if you say something stupid, like Dylan saying about being PC and stuff like that and all, and he's 100%. You should never change yourself for anybody else. but then you have to be clever as well, because
you just can't. Even though I'm not PC, I just know not what to talk. I know what not to comment on.
This is it. This is what I'm saying. Stick
away from race, religion, and politics, and you're fresh.
Guys, right.
And the LGBT community, don't go near them.
No.
The politics was definitely we don't stick away from.
You're smart bastard.
You've mentioned a couple of things about politics in the past, Paddy.
Yeah, so we actually represent the area I grew up in the local council. So,
get in, Jobstown.
I'm an independent kind of representation there, and to be able to represent somewhere where you come from and understand the actual people in this area and the problems that go on in this area. Now, there's 100 problems, and if I can help 10 out of that, as just like a comparison and stuff like that, I'm doing the right thing, with doing this position. Ireland is in trouble. Ireland has always been in trouble with politics and governments, and people say, like, this is what they say, it's like, oh no, I'm not into politics, and I'd be like, mate, if your bin didn't get taken out tomorrow, that's politics. It's all politics, it's one of these words that's used that scares us just back into doing what we're doing, following football, watching MMA, shutting our mouths, and then we've got people that are a little bit the weaker of the herd are leading the herd, and that's what's happening these days with thing, and we're being outsmarted, not through to guns and military tactics or anything like that. We're just being outsmarted through technology and manipulation and all of this stuff, So I've given 5 years to my area here, and maybe we'll give another 5, who knows? But I'm just here as a flag saying you can grow up in a single parent household and then go on and represent, and you can do it, we can all do it.
I feel like I should be doing more, so we've got effectively politician, gym owner, coach, competitor, father of 4. You're making me feel tired, Paddy.
And he's a good footballer. Good old footballer, too. Man had players for Liverpool, man was showing he was younger.
Yeah, I don't know. You play football as well, yeah. No, we get one shot at this. Look, it doesn't people say, oh, you only live once. You don't, you only die once. You live every single day, Some days your chemical imbalance will be lower than others, and then some days you wake up buzzing. I think, like me and Dylan, how I think maybe it's the same kind of like disease in that in a way. Sometimes you might wake up and you might be low, but whatever makes you high, sometimes you got to know to understand how your chemical imbalances work, I think, and bounce with it. And then when you've got the good ones, go. It's like getting wind when you're sailing, go.
And this Saturday, you're looking forward to that, looking forward to being one of the good ones then. So
you're going to be on them good feelings for about 2-3 days. You won't come down watching.
Oh, well, it's a 10-minute match. It's submission only. Obviously, Phil has some really good judo and grappling and experience. It's in his hometown. He's done these matches before on Polaris and stuff like that. But I am a hooligan.
I'm a berserker.
And I just happen to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu too. So
well, we'll end on that. Obviously, Paddy, thanks very much for coming on the show, and we wish you the best of luck this coming Saturday. That's in Polaris 19, and obviously people can check that out on UFC Fight Pass.
Best of luck, Paddy. You're gonna smash it.
Right.
Thanks, Dylan, man. Great to see you. I only got to see your fight as well there the other day, man. Really good. Thanks. Good composure. Thanks. Shooting in, I was like, oh my. Now he listens. He listens.
Yeah. me and James were like, what would catch people off guard? And I was just like, taking someone down from the get-go, and he was like, let's do it. And I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
In and out, ready to go.
The art of war.
Art of war.
Give my love to James, lads, right? Look after yourselves.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Paddy. Thanks,
Bye,
Dylan.